Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim, and today I'm doing a little bit of a recap on a previous video that I did 3 years ago. It was a plate carrier setup advice, and I was watching it the other day because someone asked me a question and I was kind of touching on it and realized that it was kind of dated and a lot of the stuff in there have kind of changed and I'm not really doing anymore, and things just kind of evolve and change over time. And there's a couple other videos where there was kind of similar things going on. So I figured I would do another plate carrier advice video covering the same stuff as last time and then adding some new material such as things I've changed my mind on. And that's pretty constant, by the way. You know, when you first start playing or working or whatever you're doing, you're probably going to change your plate carrier setup quite a bit and extensively, you know, big changes. As you get more comfortable and figure out what you like, what you don't like, it's kind of settle into a rhythm. And then you just make little changes as new equipment comes out. You try out new equipment. Some of it you like, some of it you don't like. Some of it you try out, go operational with it, figure out it's not that great after all, and switch back to the old stuff or whatever. So just right off the bat, let's just cover the basic rules, in my opinion, of setting up your plate carrier. So this is my plate carrier right here that I use for Airsoft, Milsim, whatever. And it hasn't changed. I'm still using a Tag Banshee. They also go by the company name Shellback Tactical, same company. Tag stands for Tactical Assault Gear. They discontinued these for a while, and then apparently so many people liked them they actually brought them back. I think the price on them now is about 180 bucks. Back in the day you could get them for about 120. You might be able to find them cheaper than 180 if you look around a little bit. But this is the same plate carrier I had 3 years ago. Still using it. I have changed some things on it though. But first I'll go over the rules. First rule of setting up your plate carrier is keep it simple. Lots of guys have lots of gear on their plate carrier that doesn't really mean anything in an airsoft context. They have like breaching tools and fake explosives and zip ties and restraints and all sorts of cool stuff. In my opinion, that gets kind of in the realm of cosplay and out of the realm of the sport of airsoft. And if that's what you're down with, cool, more power to you. I'm not going to hate on you. But for my purposes, I like just sticking to, you know, what do I need to play the game? And, you know, reloads, radio, dump pouch, and water is basically what you're looking at. So keep it simple. Don't add a bunch of crap that you don't need. It's just going to weigh you down and get in your way when you're trying to do something you need to do, like a reload. Okay. Rule number 2 is comfort is king. You want to set up your plate character so it's as comfortable as possible on your person. That's going to vary from person to person based on your size and whatnot. But if there's one little thing or one little pouch or one little seam somewhere that's kind of annoying you after 5 minutes, it's really going to be bugging you after a couple hours. So, you know, make sure you set it up so it's very comfortable, and if there's anything that's bugging you whatsoever, get rid of it, change it, move it around, find a way to make it comfortable. All right. Rule number 3 is gear is very personal. I kind of touched on that at the beginning, but you know, everybody's got their preferences. Everybody's a little bit different. Some people like open top magazines. Some people like cover top magazines. I'm not going to tell you that, you know, this one's better than that one. I'll tell you what I prefer and why I prefer it, but you might not be like me. Real quick, open top's great because you can get your mags real fast, but they're going to get mud and dirt and crap in there. So, you know, cover top magazine pouches are kind of nice because they actually protect your magazines a little bit. And that goes for everything. All pouches or all, you know, what kind of communications gear you're using, what radio you use. It's a lot of personal preference and what your personal experience is. All right. Final rule number 4 is zip ties are your friend. I'm a big fan of having everything secured on my plate carrier that I can, whether that be, you know, here's my my push to talk, you know, my comms, any of this wire from my communications gear, anything I can zip tie to keep it closely attached to the plate carrier, I want to do. Anytime you have a little loop hanging out, like even this one right here, which I can't do anything about, if, you know, a branch or something catches on that, it's going to pull your headset off your head or your earpiece out, and then you're screwed. So try to zip tie as much stuff as you can. Even this, like this little cord here that plugs into my mic, Zip tie that in, otherwise that's going to come out at an opportune time. You know, zip ties are cheap. Buy them in bulk and use them. Don't be afraid to use them on everything you can to keep your stuff really tight. All right. So those are my 4 rules real quick. Now I'm going to start kind of going over specifically my plate carry, maybe some things I've changed since I did the last video. First big one is I used to have this upside down fast mag right here, and I'd mount it, you know, right here in front on the left. And this was really fast. This was really slick. It was really awesome reload, and man, it was slicker and shit. Problem was when you mount them upside down, although it worked great in Airsoft, it didn't work out so well in real steel when I tried to set up my real rig and my Airsoft rig the same way. So the heavier weight of a fully loaded real steel magazine, that would fall out of there. It was rare. It only happened to me twice operationally, but the first time I was able to kind of blow off as shit happens. The second time I was like, okay, that's too many. I don't trust it anymore, and I got to get rid of it. So still works great for Airsoft, but if I can't use it in real steel, I'm not going to use it. But still a good product. Just can't mount them upside down. So now I've kind of switched to Hsgi tacos, kangaroo types in front. And this first one here, this is my happy mag. This is my primary reload. I was doing reloads off the belt for a while, and I just kept going under stress, just going right to the spot over and over again. And I thought, you know what, if that's what I'm doing under stress, I might as well just reinforce it and train that way. So yeah, it might be 1/10 of a second slower than the belt, but you know, that's the brakes. I don't think that 1/10 of a second is going to make or break me someday. So I've just decided that's going to be my primary reload, and we'll stick with that. I've set this rig up for, I used to just play 90% M4, so everything's, you know, M4 mags. But since then I play around with, I use AK platforms a lot, I use a sniper rifle a lot, and like the VSR 10 mags, they fit perfectly in these little pistol pouches here. And these taco pouches work great for M4 mags or AK mags. It holds them both. That way, instead of switching out rigs and switching out pouches, you know, between games and crap, I got one rig and I can just, you know, whatever platform I'm using for that game, I can just use it and be done with it. I got these 2 pouches on the left side. These are kind of neat. I was looking for AK pouches that'll accommodate an AK magazine, which is not as easy as you might think. And the company that has these is Strike Hard Gear. It's an American company, and they make kind of a lot of cool pouches for like Mosin Nagants and you know, SKSs and stuff like that. Neat company. They got some really neat pouches, and they're pretty affordable. I forget how much they are specifically. I think this pouch might have been like 20 bucks for the double. It's an open top, but it's pretty deep, so getting an M4 magazine out of there is kind of a bear. But it still does the job pretty well. That's kind of a backup mag after these first 3 and the one in the gun run out. It can also accommodate a flashbang, or this is a Thunder Bee, and obviously I got that tethered. I did a video on that. Still doing that. I just switched to this pouch because that last pouch, the clasp on it, although you want to have a good solid clasp on these, on your pouch, that one was a little bit too difficult. I was having a hell of a time getting it to open under stress, so I switched to this pouch. Once again, these 2 pouches here can also accommodate AK mags or M4 mags. They can accommodate either one. So neat product. I like it a lot. Still using the Baofeng radio here with the extended battery. Works great. I haven't seen any reason to change it. It costs like 35 bucks. They're programmable. It's a great radio. I did change away from the headsets. I was using the Z Tactical headsets, which are notorious for breaking and blah blah blah. Switched to the Pryme hand mic. Pryme is spelled P-R-Y-M-E. I've been using these for years. They only cost 20-25 bucks, and I tell you what, I've never had one break. They last forever. They're just a great product. You want to get the one that has the little 3.5 jack on the bottom for a headset, and then I just run, you know, my headset in the shoulder pad here. Once again, zip tying any loose lines I have, and I got an earpiece, put it in my left ear, and you're off to the races. It doesn't look as cool as a headset, but it's a lot more practical, and as you know, in my opinion, practicality is king. So Pryme radio mic is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. Some of you might have seen a debate I had. I did a video about the G-Code Soft Scorpion versus the Hsgi Taco, which obviously I went with the Hsgi Taco. This is still a good product, but it's a little heavier, and it was a little sticky for my taste. The friction when you're trying to pull a magazine out was a little much. I had a coworker who was using one on a belt. It got caught up on something, and the whole magazine tore apart right here. That's not really a adequate sample to say it's a problem for the product. It's, you know, a test sample of 1. It's just kind of worth noting that that one did break. I never did have a problem with these breaking while I was using them. I haven't heard any widespread problems of them breaking in that manner, but it is worth noting it did happen. So just take that for what it's worth. Still a good product. I just didn't like the way it felt. Didn't like how the reloads were kind of sticking at it. So I switched back to the Hsgi Taco. This is a triple panel that they sell, the triple kangaroo panel. They sell for like 125 bucks, which is kind of a lot, but it does take up a lot of real estate, and it does kind of give you a lot of magazine capability. There's a lot of mags there for what you're paying. Quick note on Airsoft mags versus real steel. I covered this in the last video. Real steel mags and Airsoft mags, as far as AR-15s, M4s are concerned, are not the same. This is real steel. You'll notice that it's quite a bit, the Airsoft one is quite a bit shorter. So when you're using these mag pouches, what you want to do, if it's an open top, that magazine is going to sit lower in the pouch than it would for a real steel, and therefore, depending on how deep the open pouch is, it can be hard to pull that out. Quick solution I found is just get some foam, 1 inch by 2 inch, stuff it down to the bottom of that pouch. It'll pick that magazine up so it sits a little higher. That's just with M4 pouches. AK magazines, you'll find this is real steel, this is Airsoft. It's still a little bit different, but it's not nearly as drastic, so it's usually not worth screwing with. I just stick with normal pouches. I don't put any foam in there. Quick discussion on what do you actually put in your plate carrier. Now, obviously this thing's designed to wear armor plates. Most guys in Airsoft, they run them empty. That's fine. Some people don't like how it's a little bit floppy, a little bit loose without any plates in it. I personally never cared. I ran it that way all the time. I happen to be right now, I have plates in this one. I have some soft plates. And these are just rated 3A. These are soft plates, basically to stop handgun rounds. So these are in the vest right now. Why are they in there? Well, you know, do you need them for Airsoft? Hell no. You don't need armor plates for Airsoft. That's just stupid. However, I used to wear a Tag Banshee at work. It wore out after about 5 years of wearing it daily, so I upgraded to a Velocity Systems. Those plates no longer don't fit in the Velocity System, so I had an extra set of plates lying around that still got plenty of life left in them. So I decided to put them in this plate carrier. I do wear this plate carrier when I'm shooting at my range in the backyard, shooting real steel, so you know, I put the plates in there. It fills out the plate carrier nicely, and they're not overly heavy, and I just like wearing them. It makes them more comfortable. What are some options for you? You know, if you're playing Airsoft, and I wouldn't recommend soft armor plates because, you know, the bullets aren't real. One option, besides just leaving it empty, you can buy the plastic plates from like Evike or whatever. They're pretty affordable, but they're kind of stiff, and I really wouldn't recommend them. In my opinion, the best place to go is Walmart. Buy a camping mat, camping pad, or a yoga mat or whatever, and you know, cut out plates from that mat, and you might need 2 or 3 layers if you get the yoga mat, but you know, place those in the plate pockets and it'll fill up that plate carrier nicely, and it'll make it a lot more comfortable for you. So that's what I would recommend. One thing I'm going to cover that I didn't cover in the last video, because I was just covering the plate carrier, but today I'm going to touch on it, is battle belts. Battle belts are all the rage. Some people like them, some people don't like them, and honestly, it's not a must. It's not even close to a must-have. Handguns and airsoft, especially when you play woodland outdoor, which is what I mostly do, the chance of you needing that handgun is pretty slim. But most game organizers, if you're playing a DMR or sniper role, they require you to carry a handgun because it's got a shorter minimum engagement distance and blah, blah, blah. Thus, have a handgun. This is just a WE Glock 17. It's good. It's not great. I think in all the years I've only shot like 10 people in it. I use it at work for training when I'm putting on some classes, and so people seem to like it in that capacity, so I hold on to it. Magazine I use, Safariland ALS hoodless. This is a little bit of a older model, but it was basically a work holster, and then I retire it from work and it kind of ends up being an airsoft holster. Nice thing about it, it's got real good retention, real positive click in there, holds the gun in place. That's the most important thing you want out of an airsoft holster, because you can be running around in the woods and you don't want this thing falling out and having to search all over the place looking for it later. But Safariland ALS hoodless, can't say enough good things about it. It is specific, or this model is specific to the Glock. It attaches to this ejection port opening right here. That's what the retention is kind of grabbing onto. So you want to be careful, because not all airsoft pistols are one-to-one replicas of a Glock. I've had other replicas I've tried in here that won't really, that retention won't grip on. So for what it's worth, the WE model does work. The new ones, Elite Force just got the trade rights from Glock to make their pistols. I'm assuming it's going to be a perfect one-to-one scale, and I'm sure it'll fit in the Safariland holster great. I haven't tried it out yet, so I have no idea, and I don't even know if I'm going to buy one. This has still got some years left in it. This gun, and once again, you don't use them that often. The battle belt itself that I'm using is the Hsgi padded battle belt. Works great, real comfortable. These last a really long time. I don't see me ever replacing this one. The one I use for work, my SWAT belt, I think I've had it for 4 or 5 years. Basically using it 3 or 4 days a week, and it's just now getting worn out where I'm looking at replacing it, but I could probably still go another year without replacing it. So the durability on this product is excellent. As far as pouches, I got an Hsgi Taco, just one pistol mag reload. This is only for indoor or whatever. If I'm in the woods and I think this is going to fall out, I don't even bring it along, because the chances of me needing that reload are pretty much non-existent. The chances of me eventually losing this in the woods and having to go look for it, better than not. So I usually just leave it out. Multi-tool, love these, always bring them. Never know what you're gonna need it for. Airsoft cheap Chinese shit will break. Having some tools on you help fix that. Way to go. This is a general purpose pouch. This is Tactical Tailor. I said before, I love Tactical Tailor, great company. This can hold, I believe, 3 M4 pouches, or 3 M4 mags, or 2 AK magazines. I usually just put 2 M4 mags as a backup if I'm on a game where I'm going to like go really far, and the magazines on my actual plate carrier aren't going to be enough. But that's pretty rare that I have to reach for these. I'm having a pretty damn good day if I get 7, 8 magazines in and I need to actually use these. It's also just a good pouch for carrying whatever crap that based on the game, what they want you to carry. Sometimes they got their tourniquet rules, or whatever the hell they're talking about for their med kits, or IFAC, or whatever the fuck. It's just, you can put them in here. It's a great pouch for that. Dump pouch, huge fan. This is the Hsgi magnet pouch, where you put your magazines, where you put a lot of things, where you put your gloves, where you put water bottle. That's one big thing. Is I used to carry that Armor back from Camelback. That was a great water carrier, but I don't really use it anymore. Honestly, I got tired of fucking with it. I got tired of having to clean out the reservoir and all that crap and clean out the tube. I would rather just throw a water bottle or two in my dump pouch, and when they're empty, I put them in my side pocket, and keep a bunch of water bottles back at the spawn, and I'm usually only out maybe at the most an hour. Now, if I were to play a game where I'd be kind of hoofing it for several hours, and yeah, I'd throw that Armor back on my plate carrier. It's sitting on the shelf over there. and it'd be great. But for all the trouble that it takes to clean it out, fill it, and empty it, I just rather throw some water bottles in my my dump pouch. Do it that way. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Hope you guys liked the video. You got any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.